Look at them boulders. What a coastline.
Hey! Yeah, of course they are. Oh, that's great. Can I ask you where we are and how the night was?
We are at Ingram Island, are we? No, we're not. We're not at Ingram Island, we're at
Morris Island.
Morris Island, and it's an island of flax and palms which they planted as a shipwreck survival strategy, and now it's just covered in lots of different birds. And the night was quite good. We're sort of just on the western side of a little sand K island, and it's flat. It's nice.
It started out a bit rocky for me, but
yeah,
it got really smooth through the night, didn't it?
It's good.
Good sleep.
Yep.
Now we're heading off to Lockhart River.
Off to Lockhart River.
Wow.
Croc country.
Yeah. So we are just approaching the Lockhart River. The Lockhart River is the only real bit of protection over the next few hundred miles. We've sailed across Lloyd Bay in a fairly boisterous 20 to 25. We are hauling along at about 8 knots. While we're there up the river, we're going to have nice flat calm conditions which are going to be ideal for climbing the mast and setting up the running backstays and making sure that the staysail inner forestay is all good to go in the nice calm tranquil waters of the Lockhart River. Look at this! Safely tucked just inside the mouth of the Lockhart, it was time to get to work. Join the crew on all the stars as we share what we discover. All about the ups and downs of life on a 37-foot sailboat. Stay updated and hit that subscribe button. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're here today in the Lockhart River and we've got no swell obviously because we're in a river, but we do have quite a bit of wind. One of the tasks we've been trying to get done recently is get up the mast to fit our new running backstays. They're an 8mm Dyneema backstay. This is the fitting that goes into the tang on the mast, or the slot on the mast. Now they come down to the deck level. These are our pre-made tensioners. Elliot did a fine job of doing eye splices for the actual blocks. We have a couple of soft shackles which will attach that hard shackle to our low friction ring. We've got lots of adjustment readily available with those blocks. It means we can tune it as we go along as we're sailing. And this here is our Flash Colligo tensioner that we ordered from the US. Instead of just using a low friction ring, it allows us to tension that inner forestay right up, and we'll be running the tail back to a diverter along the deck to a winch in the cockpit. But I suspect that we'll probably be using this tensioner to tension the forestay initially, getting it nice and tight as conditions strengthen. But I'd say we'd be setting that, getting our tension nice and tight, and then we'll be adjusting and playing with the tension of the mast for the staysail with our running backs, which we can do all from the cockpit here. So I should also say that once we've got all that rigging into the mast and back to the deck, so we've got our running back set up, we've got our inner forestay set up and tensioned, well then we'll be getting that new staysail that Russell made for us down there in Tassie out of that bag, and we'll be playing around with making up the soft shackles, the hank-ons, they're called soft shackle hanks, which we'll be using instead of a metal hank to run the sail up. So that they'll be basically attached to the leading edge of the sail, to the luff, and then as the sail gets pulled up with a halyard, they'll slide up it's actually 10mm Dyneema stay at the front, which I think is rated to 8 tonne. So she's a solid bit of gear, but that bigger diameter Dyneema is actually going to be a bit of an advantage as well, not only because it's stronger, but it'll allow those soft shackles to slide pretty well. Crazy, mate. Trying to get anything done up a mast is challenging enough, even without the wind. Right, now that's out there. Now we just go back to our tensioner. That. Got the angle right there. Back to our strong point. We can adjust the angle of this guy so that it's easy to let it go. The thing to remember is we won't really need to have both these set up unless we're running straight down the wind. So if we're running across the wind with the staysail up, we'd probably just have the windward side one out, and therefore there's less things to get in the way of the boom if we did have to jibe. So when they're not being used, like when they're not under tension, I think we take the pressure off, take that soft shackle off, and we take it back to the shrouds on the side there, and we lash it to a shroud so that it's well out of the way. It's not going to get caught up in sheet ropes and booms and things like that. So yeah, the next little job is just to make up some temporary lashings to have them tied there when we're not using them.
Sounds good.
It's windy up there, far out, 25, 30 knots. I was hugging the mast like a little nanny boy. Help! Ran into a little problem. It did have a black coloured matching Dyneema shackle to attach it to that deadeye in the end of the removable forestay. Now that we realised it wasn't going to be strong enough because the rest of the rigging can sort of withstand 6 tonne. I think it was actually 8 tonne on the stay. So 8 tonne on the stay, and it was pretty close to 8 tonne there with 4 lashings of 6mm. So yeah, we've stepped it up. Ellie has made up a new one of these because she's far better at making soft shackles than I am. And we're going to see if that fits, and if so, we can always whip the throat there just to bring it in with a little bit of a lashing. But it's bright blue, which adds a little bit of bling. And then we're going to be hooking all these little soft shackles with the low friction rings built into them back onto the boat, and then we'll be giving the tensioner a trial run with the line that comes back to the winch. See how much tension we can get on that forestay. Okay guys, so there is our Caligo tensioner, and there's the soft shackle. You can see there's a bit of room at the top there, so we probably will lash that to close that up, but I'm just going to leave it as is until we tension it and see what that looks like. I'm going to attach this bottom fitting with the pin down onto the deck fitting, the deck tang. Then we're going to run all these little lines back to the cockpit so that we can tension it up, see how it looks. So this stuff is 6mm. It looks a bit too chunky for the blocks at the moment, these Terminator blocks, but I think once we get them under tension they're going to get nice and a fair bit skinnier. So let's see how we go. Alright guys and girls, so There is our tensioner setup. So this comes back to here where it's a long splice with a bit of protector put on there from a nylon rope, and I'm going to use that we'll put another eye splice into the nylon. So there's an eye splice here from the line going back to the cockpit. So the reason all of these fittings are attached with soft shackles is that when we don't need to use the staysail, we don't crowd the triangle deck area here for the genoa by having this staysail in the way. So all these soft shackles will just very quickly come off. This whole assembly going to get stowed out of the weather, and then this removable stay gets lashed back to one of the side shrouds so it's well out of the way, and then you would never know there was a staysail that had been in the way before. So we imagine we'd be putting this together, tensioning it right up just as we're about to put the staysail on for a big sail, and if there was any question of whether it might get, if it was a long crossing, then we'd probably leave all this attached so that we can easily just lash on the staysail and put it on the halyard and pull it up. So next little thing to do is to attach these two lines and get some tension on this.
Here we go.
Okay, again. Here you can see I am milking the 6mm Dyneema through the terminator fittings, while Elia keeps up the tension with the winch. Rather than stretch, the correct terminology for Dyneema is creep, where as you tension a fibre, the fibres bed in, creating a little bit of elongation. Now we're going to lash this with some 3mm Dyneema. The recommended length of the binding is approximately 1/3 of the length of the tensioner. I'm just going to finish this off with a couple of simple half hitches. I'm going to release the tension on that. Hopefully there'll be no slip here in this tensioner. Yep. Go for it. Beauty. That's good. Hadn't slipped at all. Great. I would prefer to have put these tensioners on the inside of the deck, but this is where the dinghy is, so it's actually not a good spot, not big enough spot to do both. So these are just, they're made to be removed pretty quickly, and when that's slack, we can just, slacken that off enough to get that door open. We don't actually have to take it away, and that means when we get sailing again, we can easily just tension that back up and make any adjustments to this. And this lashing has done a really good job. That hasn't slipped at all. So I think that's how we'll just have to operate when we need to anchor. I'm pretty happy how that's holding together now. If it wasn't so bloody windy, we'd get the sail up.
Maybe in the morning, eh?
Yeah, maybe in the morning. You stay sail.
Oh my god, super exciting.
So it took about 15 minutes to hank all those on. I'm sorry to say. It's a pretty slow process, but maybe I'll get better at it. I think it'll just stay in the bag when we go sailing on a passage anyway. But hopefully I've got them all the right way. Can you see them all from the front here? And I think we might have to retension that stay once we get sailing, but the idea is I'll slide up like that. And I think I've got them all wound the right way around.
Cool.
So I might just wait for a lull in the wind and yank on the halyard and see how it looks.
Alright.
I must say, I was amazed at how easily the soft shackle hanks glided up the stay.
Wow. We're going to sail away now?
Yeah, we are. We're going up the river.
Alright, let's go. There it is.
Nice. got it backwinded there, but that's
pretty cool, hey? Now we've just got to see how it fits into the bag.
yeah. How
With
does it
all
fit in the
those
bag?
Hank-on attachments on there. We'll just see.
Yeah. I'll give it a try, eh?
Let's give it a try.
So we've had to fold the sail in half to get it in the bag, which doesn't feel very delicate, but I think that's the only way, because obviously the foot of the sail is a lot longer than the bag, and I think once it loses its stiffness it'll just sort of crumple into the bag a lot easier, giving it a bit of use.
I still reckon there might be some origami we could learn from someone.
We might ask Russell, the sail maker, what his recommendations are, but that's pretty handy having it stowed there, and there's a little tab over here which you can
I saw that.
see that, which you tie off to the baby stay so it doesn't blow around too much in the wind.
Alright.
Yeah, might just leave it on deck until we give it a fly tomorrow for a bit of a test run.
Alrighty.
Look at this, we're just leaving the Lockhart River and we've had a wonderful stay there for a couple of days resting. I now feel like we're going to see the setting off in a boat that is so well set up. Like, we have everything we dreamed of having now. We've got the staysail set up, we've got preventers set up properly, we've got the new sails all rigged up nicely, the new rigging, the new batteries, the new life raft, the list goes on. So feeling super fortunate and very grateful for our lot in life and our luck, and have a little sail today up to, what's it called again? Portland Roads. A short sail, and hopefully we get to try out this new staysail. Well, those of you that know me know that I've been banging on about this staysail for far too long, and I'm sure you're sick of hearing me say the word, but look at that. We have our new staysail up and flying, and we're pointing into the wind, and what are we doing, about 4.5, 5 knots at the moment? Yeah. Yeah, we're close hauled, but we'll get a bit of a trial, and we know that we can tension a few things here and there and play around with angles, but it's doing the job nicely. I don't know whether it justifies all the effort and expense, but maybe it's a case of it paying its way with time. We made it! Woohoo! And jump aboard next week for heaps more adventure.
Right through the middle, and we got into the valley.
As we take on the sail to Indonesia. That's all, folks, and thanks big time for your support.